Hello, this is Liz with Stampin' on the Rock. Tonight I'm going to be sharing with you a Christmas card. Just give you another Christmas card idea in case you're still working on those, or if you just needed, like, another little extra idea. So I'm not even going to show you the finished card first. I'm just going to get started. All right, the stamp set that I'm going to be using is Christmas banners, and then the coordinating Christmas banner dies. Okay. The ink colors, I'll be using Real Red and Old Olive. And for cardstock, I will also be using Real Red and Old Olive. And this is just the 8.5 by 11 cut in half. And then I have a Real Red piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have a white piece here that is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so they're all going to get layered this way. Let me set these two aside for now. Let's see, what else will I be using? I will actually have a piece of garden green that I'll be using for some cutouts, but I'll get to that in a second. So let's start with this piece here. This is the white piece that is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to just lay this down here. These are large Post-it notes. It's a large, Post-it note pad, and I just shredded it down the middle. I tore a little bit off this side, and then I tore it over here. Okay, and I'm going to just lay this down on top. Make sure I'm in the camera here that you're seeing. Awesome. Just going to lay this down. It doesn't have to be anywhere exact. The nice thing about grid paper, the grid paper here that we're using, if you want, you can, if you want to be real careful about it, I'm lining it up with the lines that are on here. And then I can line it up there with the lines. So that's up to you. It doesn't really have to be exact, but okay. So there we have it at the moment. So Post-it note, just shredded. I just ripped it down and laid that down that way. Okay. So I'm using the Old Olive ink pad. Going to open that up, and I'm taking my blending brush, love this, and inking that up a little bit. You never want to start directly on the paper, so use your Post-it note to get off any, just the excess dark color. Start light. I've told you this before when I've used this. You always want to start light because you can always go darker, but you can't make it lighter. Okay, so I'm brushing away from the Post-it note. And you can get some more. Just always brush off on that Post-it note so you don't have any real dark streaks on it. You don't want that. Okay. So I'm going over the whole area. But I do now, now that I have a light coloring on that whole strip there, I do want right around the edges to be darker. So now I'm just pressing slightly harder just along the edges. So I'm adding a little bit deeper saturation along the edges. We'll get a little bit more here, and just along the edges I'm running out from the outside in, so that I just get a little bit darker along those shred edges. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take that off of here. And this is what you end up with. Pretty cool, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going from that stamp set. There's all these little extra pieces here. So I'm grabbing this little fern piece, not really even a fern. I don't know what you would call that, but it's like a Christmas tree branch. I'm going to grab that, and I'm inking into the garden green, or the Old Olive, sorry, the Old Olive. So it's the same color that I just did for here. I'm using Old Olive, and I'm just randomly stamping branches. Don't be afraid to stamp off your paper. The entire branch doesn't have to be on the white paper. And kind of just twisting back and forth so they're not all going the exact same direction. And we've talked about this before. If you have a little section that maybe didn't come out all the way exactly like you want it, there's ways to cover that. No big deal. All right, so I'm going to set that aside. We're all done with that for now. Let me set this aside for now, and I'm going to pull in the banner. I already stamped the banner, and then there's a die. I stamped the banner with the stamps, and then let me pull this out and show you. Here's a die that goes right over top of that stamped banner, and you can run that through the cut and emboss machine, and that cuts that out just like that. Okay. So we're going to put those back in there and set that aside. So I've already stamped and cut that out. Now I'm going to use the words. I'm going to do Merry Christmas. So we'll pull these words out of here. And we're going to put Merry. There we go. All right, I'm going to do this in the green because I stamped the banner in the real red. So let's do the green here. There's Merry. And let's do Christmas. Oh, I think I stamped this. I did. I stamped this the wrong way. Okay, let's see what happened here. I'm going to do it anyway because you're going to see, you're going to get the idea. There is a right side up, and I just did this upside down. Okay, so if you look at this one here is longer than this one is. That one's shorter. So it should be this way. Da-da-da! So I made a mistake. I'm going to keep going with the video because you're going to get the idea. So Mary should have been over here because it's a shorter area and that's a longer one. I'm just going to do it, go with it, and you just know to watch that when you're going to do yours. So we're going to do it anyway because there's not another one. Mary wishes doesn't make sense. Mary, we're going to go with that, guys. Okay, you get the idea, okay? I'm just going to put Christmas in here, and it's going to be tight squeeze, but we're going to make it work. All right, there we go. Merry Christmas. Okay, it still fits, but when you do yours, just know that one side's shorter than the other, so it might be a good idea to do it this way with Merry here and Christmas here. Da-da-da. That's all right. Okay, let's get this out of here. It happens. Let's see what we're going to do next. Next, I'm going to pull this in. Let's see if I can pick this up. Let's go ahead and start mounting and putting this together. I am using the liquid glue in here. I've done both the liquid glue and the seal refill, the stamp and seal. So if you do the liquid glue, just make sure you don't go to the very edges or it will ooze out on you. So you just want to be in closer. Just give yourself a break on the sides there, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put that down here. I have already scored and folded this one. Let me give you a little tip though. I scored and folded it, and you probably can't see it in there, but it's a little bit, it doesn't match up exactly. That may or may not bother you. It kind of bothers me. So what you can do, if you have a bone folder, you can pull it up to where it's supposed to be, exactly lined up, and hold it here. The bone folder will still crease it right where it needs to be. And there you go. And now it's exactly on the sides and just makes me happier. Okay. So let me go ahead and take this one here. Same thing. Just don't want to get the adhesive too close to the edges. Put this down on here. If you're making your Christmas cards and you haven't done that yet, just please make sure to get your order for cardstock in soon so that you have it in time. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this guy down with some dimensionals, which I have here. Let's add a few. I'm using the ends of the dimensionals, like the edges. Use all that you have. Okay. Put our little upside down Merry Christmas on here. Nobody else will notice. It will go exactly edge to edge, and you'll have just a tiny little bit off the edge. It's really fine. It will still fit in the envelope. Okay, there we go. All right. With the dies, there is a die that Let's see if I do here. Let's see. There's a die right here. That's this little tiny die right here, and it will cut out these little branches. Because it's so detailed and fine, I would make sure if you're using this, make sure you would use adhesive sheets on the back. Adhesive sheets are fabulous. And yes, they are in the catalog. So there's adhesive sheets on there. So I'm going to go ahead and then peel off the backing. And that way you don't have to worry about getting glue or anything into those little tiny spaces. It's already there for you. It can be a little bit of a bugger to pull it apart, and that's all right. There we go. Okay, so this is just the branch with the cut and emboss machine. And just to give it a little extra texture, I'm going to take that and like tuck this in here. And I want it to be a little more realistic, so it's going off the edges. Again, don't worry about that everything has to be in that white space. This is going off onto the red, onto the green. It's bringing everything together. And I actually have another extra one that I cut here, so let's go ahead and use it. Let me pull the backing off of this. We can do this. It's tiny, so just take your time with it. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Got all the backing off of there. And if there's little pieces in there that you're having a hard time getting out, you can just grab your scissors and poke out the center pieces. There you go. All right, I got them all. And then they're stuck to my fingers. That's all part of crafting, right? All right, so it's super sticky. I'm going to take that and stick that one on this side. There we go. It's coming together. What do you think so far? All right. Do we have good lighting here? We do. All right. And then there are these little itty bitty red berries that again are cut out with right here with these dies. This die right here. If I can get this out of here. This die right here cuts out all these little tiny berries. Okay. If you have a hard time picking up little tiny pieces like this, we do have a tool that's called Take a Pick tool, and it will help you just pick those up and you don't have to use your fingers. I will tell you honestly, I don't use it a whole lot just because I typically don't have a problem picking up little tiny things, but it is a tool. It's there to help you. So if that's a challenge for you, then grab that Take a Pick tool. And I'm just making little dots of glue, little tiny dots. Because these are little tiny dots. And taking this little red berry, and I'm just laying that right on top. Give it a little press and leave it alone. And here's the next berry. Just gonna lay that on top of that little bit of glue, press and leave it alone. I'm gonna grab another berry here. Lay that one on top. And look at that. It just adds a little bit extra in there. And there's our card. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed that. Hit that share button if you think someone else might enjoy that, or someone else is looking for a Christmas idea. Please feel free to share that. Thanks so much. And let me know what I can do to help out. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.